so after you guys met for the first time, did he propose during that same trip or he proposed a different trip?
On my first trip.
You heard Miss Nikki mention about her ex. She was engaged to a Dominican to be married recently. Please, Miss Nikki, tell us about your experience. Okay, how did you meet this guy, your ex-fiance? And tell us your whole story as far as that, what happened.
So, this guy, he was actually born in Venezuela. His mom is Venezuelan, and his dad, who has since now passed away, is Dominican. And so, when he first found me on Facebook, he was just like, hey, how are you? Just wanting to be friendly with me, and he was. He never said anything overly like sexual, or he always had a lot of respect. Was super sweet. He didn't start with the love bombing until maybe about 3 months into us deciding to be in a relationship together. We decided that we were going to go and try to be on 90 Day Fiance. We spoke with some of the producers, and they wanted us, but he didn't speak enough English. And so they said, let's hold off for 6 months, get his English up to par, and then we'll bring you guys on. So we went through that, and he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, trying to learn the English like he said he was going to. I went and visited him 4 times within a 10-month period. And I hadn't even flown in 20 years. At least I thought. I was deathly afraid to fly. But, when you're in love, you'll do whatever. I mean, for me, I was just like, hell yeah, I'll fly. I'm in love with this guy. So went over there. My first flight with my brother. My brother is like 300. Let's see, at this point, I think he only weighs like 285, and he's like 6'4". So yeah, I took my brother with me. We got a hotel, and our bedrooms were like right by, beside of each other, mine with my brothers and mine and, my ex-fiance. My first trip was obviously amazing. I mean, it was just like I was in heaven. I just could not believe that I was feeling that type of happiness and bliss. I had never felt like that in my entire life before. So I was just like super excited. My second trip didn't go so well. I kind of started noticing the negative side of him, where like when he would get mad about things, that he didn't know how to express himself or talk. And I really did not like that at all, because I'm a very sensible person. I'm the type of person, like, when you're mad at me, if you just say what's going on, I understand. I'm not gonna yell, and I'm not gonna even argue with you. I'm just gonna say, okay, well, I understand your point. This is how I felt. This is how I feel. Whatever, whatever. The third time I went over there, um, it was actually pretty good at first, but then we had a couple of bumps in the road because, he didn't want to go to work. And then when he did go to work, it was way across town. So he would have to stay overnight. And at this point, I now know and think he stayed the night, at the girl who he was cheating on me with's house. And I think that happened maybe twice while I was there. And then on this last trip, I already knew that he had been cheating on me, because we already had that conversation, and I talked to the girl who he was cheating on me with. And I said, well, let me go over there and just see if we're going to try to continue the relationship, or can I not deal with this? So I went over there, and it just wasn't the same. I mean, he was just much more narcissistic. He didn't really care about the things that bothered me, and I think that they were legitimate things to be bothered about. And I would like try to go and do little things to make money, and he's like, "No, I don't think you can do that in this country. It's illegal." And I'm like, "You've been here for 7 years. How do you not know if it's illegal or not?" So he blocked a lot of the money making things that I could have done for he and I. And one of the things that I hated about him was he could do everything construction wise, but he did not promote himself. So I'm like, give me the cards. I'm your woman, let's go out and talk to people and get your business up. And his thing was, no, that's not part of my culture. We don't let women go and do things like that. Him, when he said his culture, he was speaking on the Venezuelan side. Because my Dominican homeboys, they would have been like, yes, wife, let's go get this money. So I don't know. Um, but yeah, so eventually, the stuff hit the fan, and I decided I'm not going to put up with this, because he sent me and his baby's mama's 10-year-old child, daughter, to go out and get food and a big old fan at like 9 o'clock at night in Santo Domingo. And I'm like, so you just gonna send two females out at night? Like, that's dangerous. And I know that you know this. So in that moment, I thought to myself, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. He doesn't even this dude doesn't even care about my safety. I'm done. I'm done. And so when we got back to the house, we got into an argument because he tried to say that we had left some food around, and we didn't leave food around. Someone else had left it. And he grabbed me by my wrist, and I was like, that's the sign for me. I'm out of here. And I left him. The bottom line is, when I was 21 or 22, I think I was 21, I was dating a white guy, and he tried to kill me. He almost killed me. And after that, I said, oh, I will never allow a man to put their hands on me. And if he does, the minute he does it, I'm out of there. I don't care how it is. I don't care if it's a little something small. I'm out of here. And I carry a 9mm. I've had my gun for almost 2 years. Legally, I have a concealed carry permit, and of course, in DR, I can't carry my gun over there. So I knew that when he grabbed me, he knew that what could I do? Nothing, you know? So I called my ex, who lives in Puerto Plata, and I said, look, come get me tomorrow. I'm getting out of Santo Domingo. Because I had already told him that I was going to be there and that I may need you, because I'm giving our relationship one last try to see if it's going to work out. And yeah, so I left. Long story short, I left. And a couple of days later, my ex came to pick me up, and I went to his place in Puerto Plata and just enjoyed the rest of my trip. And I
Wow.
haven't, I've not spoken to that guy in over 2 months. I don't call, I don't text, I have nothing to say to him.
Wow. Again, sorry that you went through that. And thanks for sharing your experience. I really appreciate that. And those of you watching, I do these interviews to for people to also learn from other people's experiences, what they went through and how you can avoid it, and also just anything you can get from it. So thanks so much for sharing that. So if I can ask you, Miss Nikki, how long did you and this guy date before you met? No, you met on Facebook in America, but he was in Dominican Republic. He's half Dominican and half Venezuelan, but he's been living in DR for
Right.
7 years. So you guys met on Facebook
Yeah.
because you had mutual people that you both know, like his family that know you. After you guys started talking, how long was it before you guys actually met in Dominican Republic? Because you wanted to meet him. How long was that period like?
I believe it was, let's see, I met him in May. I think it was the 31st of May. And then I flew out there with my brother October
Yeah,
the 11th. So
May what year?
June, July, August, September, October. So five of last year,
Okay. All
May of
right. So
2022.
okay.
Yeah. So after talking to him for 5 months, me and my brother went out there.
Okay, and that's good. You went with somebody, you went with a protector, you went with your brother to meet this guy for the first time. And then when you met him for the first time, was it anything that he was online on Facebook? And was you guys were on Facebook and talking on the phone, obviously FaceTime and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how was it like when you met him? Oh, so you were at the airport meeting this guy for the first time. You've been dating long distance, never met before in real life. So take us through that moment.
Yeah, it was one of the best moments of my life. I mean, he looked just like he looked in our videos and everything. He's not the most attractive. He looks okay. I thought he was somewhat attractive, somewhat cute. Um, and I say that because, oh my God, um, from his some of his photos, he had some really nice photos where he looked really hot. And then, but in person, he didn't look like those photos. But I mean, I was still very pleased with how he looked. And then also how sweet he was and how much attention he paid to my family and all the details of everything. I mean, even down to when he proposed to me, we were literally dancing all night long and it was a party. I did not know this was my
Let's talk about the
proposal
proposal just
party.
yet. Okay, let's not talk about the proposal. Yes, just yet. You guys have to stay tuned for the proposal. But right now, okay, so you met him. You how tall are you? Like 5 foot what? How tall are you?
I'm 5 foot five. Wait, what am I? 5 and 3/4.
Okay, almost my height.
No,
I'm 5 foot 4.
what are you? Five what?
I'm 5 foot 4.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I am. I'm 5 foot and 3.5 or something. So basically 5'4". Yeah. And
And
he's
how
like
tall?
six, like no, not even six, like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. He's a bit taller than me.
All right, so he wasn't all that cute, but anyway, you were kind of like satisfied with the looks. And then, so so you met him in DR. How long were you in DR that time when you went to see him? How long did you
That
stay
first
for?
trip was only like 8 days, I think. Yeah, it was really hard for me to leave. I cried, having to leave. It was hard.
Okay. So what was it hard? Like what happened to you that 8 days that made you just like
Oh my God. We had an incredible time. I mean, we danced in the water, we danced on the beach. He didn't know that I dance as well as I dance. And he was just like, "Hey, are you sure you're not Dominican?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "God, but you've got so much Dominican flavor. It's hard for me to believe that." And I'm like, "Honey, trust me, I get it because I've actually had people get mad with me for not admitting to be Dominican in clubs here and at bars and things because I've won a bachata contest and things like that, and they're like, "Yo, just stop lying. Why would you lie about that? You should be proud to be Dominican." And I'm like, "Bro, that's exactly my point. You're Dominican, y'all are proud, and I'm black, and I'm proud to be black. So accept that. I'm black and I'm proud." It's the same concept. So exactly, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, so we had just it was like in heaven, man. I mean, he brought me breakfast. He was paying for half of everything with me. Just really catered to me. Um, the sex was absolutely incredible. I mean, that's the truth. I was in love and having that happen. It was, yeah.
wow, no, thanks for sharing that. So you mentioned that you're a good bachata dancer. So you dance to Dominican music, bachata, merengue, dembo,
Yep,
all that you can dance
Enrico
really well.
Ripiao. Huh?
You dance to all that really well.
I dance cumbia, punta, bachata, salsa, merengue, Enrico Ripiao, dembow, and reggaeton. I can dance a little bit of the rengense, the little boop, 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 the Mexican stuff. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, I dance it all. I've been dancing for since I was a kid. Yeah, I love it. And I've seen your moves too. I'm like, okay, she may not speak Spanish, but no, you know how to dance the music. I've noticed. I take notes of those kinds of things because I'm like, come on, black girls, we got to show up. We can't be out here embarrassing ourselves. Like I show up and I show out, and I show up and show out so bad, so to the point of where they don't believe that I'm black. That's what I'm telling you.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying. I'm so glad you love to dance because those of you guys who follow my channel, you know I'm a big dancer. Dancing is my life.
Yeah.
Bachata, merengue,
Yeah,
salsa,
yeah, same.
just like Nikki said, we show up. If you bring me to a Latin party or everybody gonna be thinking, are you Dominican? I'm like, no, I just dance the music. But I get the same thing. But if I spoke Spanish, ooh, you guys would be in trouble. Wait till I learn Spanish, guys. It's gonna be like, yo, African Dominican, what? So
Well,
good job.
listen, get know this. I'm doing in January, I'm starting a group where I'm teaching Spanish to adults. Now it is a paid group, so once it comes around, I'll let you know about it. If your viewers want to get in on it, they can totally get in on that and get your Spanish up to par for sure.
I would definitely love that because I mean, like, I feel like learning Spanish for somebody who's been there, done that, not a native speaker, someone who actually had to learn it and understand the Dominican culture. I prefer
Yeah,
anybody else. And girl, I cannot wait to meet you in Dominican Republic. Ooh, growing up so much fun.
I
And the thing
know.
about
Let me tell you, on a side note too, when we talked about what helped me with my Spanish, there's a guy named he's named two things that I know him as. Rico Bachata, and then it's also Bilingue Blogs. So Ricky from Bilingue Blogs, or Rico from or does he say Ricky? I don't know. Either way, he's my male twin. So he's got 100,000 followers on social media, but he does these lessons and sessions, and this is what he does around the world. Like, he doesn't work for anyone, he works for himself. That's his business, called Bilingue Blogs. And when I first met him, I bugged out because I was like, yo, we are the same person, just that you're male and I'm female. Because his Spanish is like on point. His Spanish is better than my Spanish. And I was like, that's incredible. So yeah, I always have to co-sign for my boy. He lives in Miami.
nice. And you know what I think I would like to do? Like, those of you who really want to learn Spanish, because next year I want to improve on my Spanish, you know? Because when I do take lessons, I catch on fast, but I just need to stop, keep practicing, you know? And I need to stop speaking English to these people, to my Latino people, you know? And I think what I'm going to start doing, especially like if I taking your class, not just practicing with you, like after the class, we hit you up and just speak Spanish to you, and you'll be like, okay, next time say it this way, because I think I'll learn faster when speaking to people like you and then my other Dominicans, but it has to be forced, not English. So thank you so much for that. And Miss Nikki, back to the main business. Okay, we're talking about your
Yeah.
ex-fiance. All right.
Hmm.
So okay, so you went for 8 days and you came back to America, but in that same year, because you met him in last year, 2022, or this year, 2023. When did you meet him?
2022.
You went 2022. So in 2022, said you went 10 times to Dominican Republic. You made 10 trips there, 2 trips.
Two.
And then in 2023, you made 10 trips.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say 10 trips. I got on a plane 10 times. So that was up and down, up and down, up and down. I had some
Okay, back
layovers
and
and
forth.
things.
Okay, so
Yeah.
right now you been to Dominican
So
Republic how many times?
I've been there 4 times. So the first time I went, I stayed for 8 days. The second time I went, I stayed for 25 days. The third time I went, I was there for like, I think 2 weeks. This last time I went, I was there for almost 3 months.
Wow. So after you guys met for the first time, did he propose during that same trip or he proposed a different trip?
On my first trip.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this far. We will continue with the gist, the juicy story on the proposal and everything else in the next episode. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Again, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. God bless.